Hi guys. So the passion that I've chosen is a lack of mental health services for young adults. I know that in rural counties there are a lack of mental health services where a lot of people have to go to larger counties like Lexington or Louisville, for example, to receive some of those services, and then there's a lot of barriers that are involved with that. Like some clients have transportation issues, they can't get out of work, they're, watching their kids full time. And there's just a lot of factors that go into play where sometimes they're not able to receive those services and they're at a very disadvantage of that. I work for the Cabinet for Health and Family Services, so I see this on a day-to-day basis. I've done internships in rural counties, where specifically in Harrison County, where we've had to send clients to, you know, up here in Florence, Northern Kentucky, or to Lexington just to receive, some kind of mental health service, substance use service, anything like that, because there's just a lack of resources in the rural counties. And then not only just the rural counties, I know that there's some issues like in a lot of the bigger cities as well. Like I'm up here in Northern Kentucky. I work for the Cabinet up here. And I know I struggle with mental health. I'm working on getting some of those concerns addressed too. And I know that between, working full time, going to school part time, I'm, buying a house soon. I'm getting married in May, so I'm planning that. And there's just a lot of overwhelmingness and a lot of stress. And so it's kind of hard for some of us who do have those resources to even get those resources, because while I do have transportation and I do have the means to actually get, go to a therapy, that one of the places that I called about doing therapy services, they were like, we're booked 5 to 6 months, it's not going to be till May before we can get you in. And that was back in December. And that also I feel is a huge disadvantage to even people who have this access to these resources, because they're not being provided, or they only take certain insurance. Like I know I've contacted a couple that I really feel comfortable doing therapy at, and they're like, oh, we only take Medicaid, or we only take this kind of insurance, and that also puts you at a disadvantage. So I just think that in a lot of counties there's a huge lack of resources, and then even in the counties where there are a lot of resources, they're still hard to get into and to provide. So with my clients, I try to get them in as quickly as possible. I try to make referrals so that some of my clients can get these services as quickly as possible. And I've never really understood some of my clients and how they were struggling to find services, and I used to be like, well, you got to figure it out, kind of thing. And then after experiencing that myself, it puts a whole new perspective on things for me and how I'm doing my job. I think that there needs to be more policies on mental health. It's a huge social problem. It's not talked about very often. Most people nowadays have a lot of mental health concerns. I can tell you from experience, everybody at the Cabinet for Health and Family Services has something going on. And we don't often get a lot of those services either. And mental health is often downplayed. And I think that there just needs to be like a huge social change. I mean, mental health in my profession is huge for a turnover rate too. I mean, the Cabinet has a high turnover rate because our mental health, we try to address it, but at the end of the day, it comes back to, well, you got to make your numbers, and our numbers are the most important thing. And like I said, mental health is very downplayed, and I think that it's with that like statewide, not just with the Cabinet, but with everything. And I think that that's something that I would like to focus on, to see if we can try and, get some policies in a place where we can focus on mental health and bettering everybody in the environment.